Hello and welcome to HBM's UFO Corner. We're talking about the late, great ufologist Stanton Friedman in this episode. This is a series of a collection of articles by Dr. Dr. Friedman. Scientists challenge Air Force regarding UFOs, the UFO challenge, the Flatwoods Monster UFO event, petition, UFOs, White House and lies, Peter Jennings program, the UFO why questions, Stanton Friedman slams author of Roswell Initiative, update on Operation Majestic 12 documents, government UFO lies, UFOs challenge to city specialists, UFO propulsion systems, my letter to the New York Times, debunkers at it again, and the Bob Lazar fraud. Stanton Friedman was a renowned nuclear physicist and professional ufologist, celebrated for his extensive work and research on the subject of unidentified flying objects, UFOs. You guys take a look at this article. It will be below, of course. The link will be below for you guys to take a look at. Stanton Friedman fans over the moon about new UFO exhibit. Exhibit at the Fredericton Region Museum is set to open on June 26 and run for at least 2 years. This was from 2021. Stanton Friedman dreamed of starting a UFO museum in Fredericton, and now that dream isn't too far out. The Fredericton Region Museum is putting together the Stanton Friedman is Out of This World exhibit to highlight the career of the famed UFO researcher. This exhibit is to honor Stanton in every way possible, said Hal Scarup, vice president of the Fredericton Region Museum. Who was he? A nuclear physicist by training, Friedman devoted his life to researching and investigating UFOs beginning in the late 1960s. Friedman, who lived in Fredericton, was credited with bringing the 1947 Roswell incident, the famous incident that gave rise to theories about UFOs and the U.S. military cover-up, back into the mainstream conversation. Friedman passed away in May 2019 at the age of 84. How many people from Fredericton had their obituary in the New York Times? How many people from Fredericton became characters in the Betty and Veronica comic book? Not too darn many, said Melinda Jarrett, executive director of the Fredericton Region Museum. Friedman was an accomplished writer, publishing dozens of papers about UFOs and writing or co-writing several books. So this is just kind of celebrating Stanton Friedman. It was a museum exhibit. I'm not sure if it's still running or not. Maybe it could have been popular enough that it could have kept on going. Who knows? But that's really great that they had a museum exhibit dedicated to him in his hometown. Archivists delighted to comb through a mountain of late UFO researchers' records. Stanton Friedman, who passed away in May 2019, donated vast collection of research to provincial archives. Now this is New Brunswick. This is in Canada. So I guess he must have lived in Canada, even though he was originally from New Jersey. In the months leading up to his death, nuclear physicist and ufologist Stanton Friedman started donating his vast collection of records to the Provincial Archives of New Brunswick. And he had a lot of records. Archivist Joanna Ayton Kerr said they've received about 300 boxes so far. That's about 60 meters if you line them up single file, she said. And she expects several more cargo vans to come. But the daunting task of archiving the records has been anything but a hardship for her team, she said. It's a treasure trove that reflects a brilliant, curious mind, a thorough researcher, and a funny, kind-hearted individual. This has been a real education for me, and I don't know if I'm I've ever enjoyed helping to process something more than this one. 8 and Cartel shift to New Brunswick. Friedman, the famed UFO researcher based in Fredericton, passed away in May at the age of 84. A nuclear physicist by training, Friedman had devoted his life to researching and investigating UFOs since the late 1960s. So a lot of the same information on Stanton Friedman, but good information. And these articles will be linked below as always, as per usual. And that's going to do it for this week. We want to thank you very much for tuning in. You guys are the heart of the show. He was a fascinating person, obviously. Dr. Friedman was very well versed in what he was discussing and talking about. And I think that hit piece that I read to you guys, some to you guys a few weeks ago when I had my Roswell show, the hit piece against Stanton Friedman. It was just that. It was a hit piece, basically. I didn't realize it until I started reading it. But it was a rather unfair characterization of Dr. Friedman. And it's unfortunate that he had detractors as well as supporters. But I suppose it's to be expected when you're standing up against the whole continent who doesn't believe that something exists. So, Dr. Friedman was a pioneer in his research and in his studies. So, I'm proud to know that he was keeping up the search. May have been an impossible search at times, but he kept at it, and I'm glad about that. Next week, I'm going to be talking about another UFO researcher that was recommended to me by Mick Siphon, and that was Dennis Balthaser. So until next week, y'all be good or be good at it. It's HBM's UFO Corner.